God bless America.
Anything, and we're just saying, everything is on the table. Well, now's the time. Putin is a global threat. He is an enemy to the world, and that's what we have to
I am here supporting Jeremy Kaufman and his effort to get heard. WMUR is throwing a debate in which they're leaving him out. He's on the ballot. He should at least be allowed to debate.
We're here at St. Anselm College in Manchester. There's supposed to be a debate here in a couple hours between the U.S. Senate candidates. And on the corner, you'll see there's Jeremy Kaufman's supporters, who is the Libertarian Party candidate, who of course was not invited to this event, even though he's ballot qualified. He's going to be on the same ballot in the same race as these two, Don Bullock and Maggie Hassan. The Libertarians are kind of trolling the Don Bolduc supporters.
Don't be smiling, you pro-war candidate.
I'm an activist. I have a YouTube channel, Breaking the Flaw. Try to hold public officials accountable. Doesn't always work.
Boo! Pro-war! You, Don, you pro-war piece of shit!
Now we need to get in there, and we need to help them on the ground.
It looks like Maggie Hassan, the current incumbent, has arrived, and she's greeted her crowd. I'm guessing this is the other guy, Don Bolduc.
USA! USA! End taxes! End the war! Don't go to war, Don!
It's amazing to me that anyone could be excited by, these liars, right? Like politicians, people know that they're liars.
People want accountability of the public officials, and I think I'm exposing that.
We're not doing anything, and we're just saying, everything is on the table.
I'm very vocal. I like to push the limits of the First Amendment.
Safety and security, you're not welcome.
Why?
Because
Why?
you are causing disruption. I want you off. I'm going to ask.
And you're a fucking piece of shit.
We don't want them going into Taiwan.
Boo! Boo! Don, you suck! Hey, don't go to war! Don't go to war! Hey, I'm not... My face! I go with it! Don't you touch me! Don't you touch me! Hey, I didn't do it! I'm not on the property! I'm not on the property!
You're under arrest for trespassing.
I'm not on the property!
Yeah, you are.
No, I'm not! You were!
Put
Hey!
your hands on your back. Put your hands on your back, sir. Hang on to your camera.
I'm gonna leave, and I did, and I say off the property.
Right now. This is you're on right now.
I'm not a violent person. I've never done any violence.
Okay, I just got here, so what's he being arrested for?
Why lose you?
You missed all the people, Jeremy.
These news organizations will talk about how our democracy is in danger, and it's like, well, this is what makes people fed up.
Oftentimes in society, the most intolerant wins, and we are the most intolerant. We will be absolutely intolerant of anyone who attempts to infringe on our rights. We are not going to put up with it.
I, and the libertarians generally, have been shut out of participating in the debate, and I just think that's backward.
Anybody want to go pick up Joa?
Yeah, let's
do it.
Here comes one of them.
What are we doing?
Hey, how's it going?
Good. What can I do for you guys?
We're here to pick up Joseph Hart.
Okay, he'll be out in a little bit.
See what he's up to. Hey, he's out. Man, you snuck up on us.
Speech.
So what are you being charged with?
So I have both criminal and trespass and disorderly conduct class B. Thank you guys for coming. Appreciate it.
This is nothing, and I actually think the point of this should be that we shouldn't be distracted by this. What's going to happen is a week from now, I'm going to lose my race, but we're going to see a record number of Free Staters get elected to office a week from today. Count on it.
We had almost 40 Free Staters running in the primary election in September, and we have at least 15 of those who have advanced to the general election.
Some races to watch. I think the Keith Murphy race is going to be interesting. That's actually my old Senate district, and he owns Murphy downtown, so I am interested to see how Sununu does. And then obviously the other big race is the Maggie Hassan, Jeremy Kaufman, Don Bolduc race.
I don't think that a lot of the candidates who are identified with the Free State Project are going to do well, because there's a lot of extreme things that they've done that have created a lot of backlash.
We really reached a tipping point this year where a lot of people started to know who Free Staters were, because the Free Staters had tried these really big moves that the community had rejected.
And now Free Stater is like a dirty word in the state. And that's something that you can't blame the critics for. If the people who had that opportunity to serve their community chose to not listen and instead try to impose their values on others.
This is their big goal, right, is to take over New Hampshire, dismantle state government, threaten secession, or as we now know, actually potentially secede from the rest of the country. And if they fail, they're done.
Look, if you're sitting at a table and someone says you have to eat this bowl of feces or this bowl of vomit, leave the damn table. That's what we have here in the United States, where the Republicans are the bowl of vomit and the Democrats are the bowl of feces, and everyone's like, well, you gotta eat one of them. No, you don't. You got feces or vomit. Which one do you want? Neither.
I don't like politics. I think it's awful. I think the whole thing's a scam. It's a show. It's theater. It's a joke to me. It's like you vote for a person and your vote is saying that person is my voice. When I look at the two major parties, I don't think either of them are my voice.
One thing I totally agree with the Libertarians about, and there are a few, the two-party system is not particularly good. It's not working particularly well for America. We see a lot of other countries with a lot of success with multi-party systems.
I vote where I can, because if I can do my part to make it less of a joke, but as far as I can tell, the two major parties are a joke.
The more people that move here, the stronger we become, and hopefully we can begin to get that idea out there.
And there was a part of me where I was like, that's solid.
Not great?
No,
it's not great. Would you be against
so bad you
I voted for Jeremy, so I chose the least of all the evils is what I chose.
We got some good news. Carol and JR are winning.
So I lost, sadly. You win some, you lose some. This wasn't my night, but my time's gonna come.
Yeah, no, definitely.
And then,
neck and neck.
I mean, this could just as well have been me. Maybe I'll run a Democrat next time.
Right.
So it's election day. We're here at the Quill. I'm Jeremy Kaufman. I was a Libertarian candidate for Senate for the state of New Hampshire.
And the results of election.
I have lost badly. Yeah.
0%.
Who else?
If there's a generic shift towards the Democrats, then it means less of us are going to win.
Yeah, they have to hand count. A lot of Free Staters lost their races because community members started to pay attention to who they were and what they were doing.
We didn't win at the polls, but we wanted what we're trying to do, and I'm excited about the future.
They kind of peaked, that now they've overplayed their hand, and they're trying to tout their losses as wins, and people in New Hampshire know better.
New Hampshire has this sort of constant political process. As soon as this election's over, then in some places like in Keene where I live, a municipal election begins for the next year. So there's really never an end to the political process. You're either in a state election, a municipal election, or a school board election. It's like literally every 6 months.
We're going to continue to see them run for office. We're going to continue to see them slash local budgets and try to privatize things at the state level.
So I think that ultimately what we're going to see happen in 5-10 years down the line maybe, is we're going to see elections where you're going to see a Democrat Free Stater running against a Republican Free Stater running against a Libertarian Free Stater.
I don't care if you're a Democrat, Republican, undeclared. This is our country and we need to stand up for what we believe in. And if you believe in America, you've got to take action when these groups come to town.
To assume that every single person who's directly affiliated with the Free State Project is inherently trying to destroy our government or undermine our Constitution or something like that, I find it to be kind of like unfair. My bigger concern is that there's something that their project needs to do and their political movement needs to do that like the main parties have done well in the past but haven't done well these days, which is try to filter out extremists.
Americans have become more ideologically polarized between left and right. And that's happening to libertarians too. Libertarianism is not a left-wing or right-wing philosophy. It's really an alternative to thinking about politics in those terms. But unfortunately, that sort of polarization has seeped through into this movement and has caused more division among libertarians.
I think there's a lot of the original Free Staters that don't really like where the, quote, Free State movement has gone. I don't want to speak for them, other than I've talked to quite a few that see it as taken a fundamental change and not necessarily for the better.
I'm not active officially in the Free State Project anymore, but I am angry that some people are twisting what I see as the original message into something different and potentially changing the mix of people who move here. We shouldn't be talking about trying to overwhelm with numbers. We shouldn't be using trolling online to try to gain attention. We shouldn't be thinking that any news coverage is good news coverage. I think we need to be focused on an inclusive message of progress and freedom for all.
I consider myself lowercase l libertarian, kind of libertarian in mindset, but not part of the Libertarian Party by any means. There's an amazing spectrum here. We have a very socialist communist, all the way to the kind of more anarchist, no government, free stater type movement that you have here. So we are quite a spectrum. There's no doubt about it.
I'm very glad to have a libertarian in the political discussion in America. I think they give us a gut check against times when the government does encroach too much. But the thought of living in a world that is actually dominated by a libertarian philosophy is pretty terrifying to me. It's something that I think would work for a very small group of people, and there would be a lot of pain and suffering at the same time.
I don't want to have arguments with the Free Staters. A lot of the Free Staters are still personal friends. I want to show that there is a better way, and that better way can be more successful than pissing off your neighbors.
So far, I would say the Free State Project has exceeded my initial expectations because I didn't actually expect that it would work. I didn't actually expect that anyone would move. I hoped that it would happen, but I thought that this probably won't work, but it has a better chance of working than anything else that I see out there.
I had the opportunity to come up to go to Pork Fest and a number of different events, and I said, hey, we're serious about this. This isn't just talk. We're actually going to make the move. And I feel very lucky that that's the reality. And there's people here who are literally willing to be here in the mud, the sweat, the rain to get the job done.
The Cinderella moment of the video. Every good docuseries has got to have one.
Joining a community of people who aren't thinking about just the next 5 months, the next election cycle, the next short-term goal. They're thinking about doing something over the course of generations to build something meaningful. To be a part of that is something that's incredibly important to me. This is about opportunity. Getting this truck unloaded and getting into this house is the first step, and the next 100 years, it's the start of something new. Oh, wow. That's incredible. To be here is worth everything.
We are in the Axel House, our humble abode in Hooksett, the best town. We had a baby early Friday morning, 2:48 a.m. A big 9-pound baby boy. Here's the best baby in the world. True to me being the ultimate libertarian in the world, he was born on Insurrection Day, so he's a J6 baby. But there are so many incredible activists here. They can't defeat us. It's like a 1,000-headed snake. You can't defeat it unless you cut off 1,000 heads of the snake. And yeah, we're thinking about the future and going forward, like we're having kids. I think all humans have children to keep their legacy going and keep their soul, their spirit alive, because your baby is a part of you, so a part of you can live on forever. So this sweet baby is the next generation of good, liberty-loving, peaceful people here in the state.
I've been very thrilled that people have moved, that they've gotten elected or that enacted legislation that has made people's lives better. I think New Hampshire's a much freer state as a result of the Free State Project.
Everybody's got an agenda when you talk to them, right? So I'm sure you've talked to people like Carla and Jeremy. They've got this grandiose story that they're going to try to spin to you about it.
I want to see more than 20,000 free staters in New Hampshire. I want them to be eliminating and shrinking the government. As to how far we can make it in 10 years, we'll see. But we made it farther in the last 10 than anyone ever expected us to do. And we're only accelerating.
And then you've got the entire Democrat Party is going to have a different kind of story that they're going to want to tell you.
I hope 20 years from now that the Free State Project is an entry in a random reference to the history of New Hampshire politics, and this is just a blip on the radar. Right now, that's a little harder to see, and we need to do the work to get to that future.
And hey, not that you should believe anything I tell you either, right? So.
I'm pleased with what we've accomplished so far, and I just don't want to see that ruined. I'm just going to keep speaking about the message that I believe is correct and that will succeed. It's up to people to make up their own minds.